Like
when it's
people
like,
from
I
Montville are
can't-
like, come on.
I can't call Rosie for you. I barely know Rosie. You know
I
what I
think
mean?
my kid's gay. Could you call Ellen and help me out?
It's like it's a lot of that. And when you say I can't help you, the assumption is you don't want to help you. The assumption is you're asking me to talk to somebody that has been in this industry for so many years, that has earned their stripes, okay, that has been through it, and you want me to pick them up and say, hey, what's up? Listen, I need a favor. You know, I don't do that. And
It's awkward enough when you have to ask for the favor
Right.
for yourself.
right.
Right.
And it's just a bizarre situation to be in because people assume you have the power when you don't.
Especially being on reality TV, there's a stigma, I would assume, that gets applied to you of like a less than
Right.
celebrity.
Right.
And what you're saying up front is, I didn't sign, like, this is just a fun gig that I'm doing.
fluke.
And when it's done, I won't, and I will say, to Caroline Manzo's credit, you seem to be the only housewife that hasn't swung for the fences trying to cash in.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Teresa has the cookbooks paid.
Right.
Like Bethany with the, the skinny girl business and, singing careers, and like every town has like one singer. like,
To
I'm number 90 on the club charts. Like, really? What is the club chart?
To
What songs?
Bethany's-
What's 89?
No, but to Bethany's credit, she had this thought in her mind prior to being a housewife. She was working on it. She was a far stretch from where she is now, but she was driven, and she used housewife to get her there. Brilliant, smart. She's a smart kid. As far as everybody else, listen, maybe I'll do a country western. You want to do a country western?
With me? I just
We'll do a
played.
country western album.
I just played Nashville, and I got to tell you,
We'll work it.
it was great.
I want to wear the outfits, the boots. I like cowboy boots. You can wear a cute little hat. You got the beard going now. I like it.
Thank you. It's funny, like country western seems to be like the default setting for people that can't really like Kristen Chenoweth and like who's the shoot. You know who I'm talking about. She was married to Ben Affleck, kind of. Tall blonde. Gwyneth Paltrow. It's like, yeah, I'm just going to do like country western album. Like, what's the big deal?
I guess I would go for
Like,
it.
I don't know if that's like a sad statement on these people's decision making or a sad statement on country western music.
I happen to love country music. I can't sing, but if Caroline Manzo was ever gonna do an album just for fun, I'd do a total country western album. But I have to have a counterpart, and it'd be you because I like the beard.
But then I got to keep the beard
You
to
gotta
be
keep the beard and put a cowboy hat on.
more Manzo. Well, we can't have our names in the title. It has to
No.
be something totally
It
original.
has to be completely
Bow and arrow.
done.
Is that you're gonna pull this for me because that's gonna start eating you alive. That
What, this?
sunshine. Yeah, just pull that out. Just so you don't. There you go. She's
Look
got
at you,
it.
how he takes care of me.
So don't. But you haven't thought of like, wow, I could write a book tomorrow. Because
I
I'm
have
sure
a book.
You what?
Stop.
I'm
What
like,
happened was-
she doesn't sell out this one.
No,
And
no,
Caroline's
let me
like, well,
tell you
hold
what
on a
happened.
second. Let me tell you about my book.
I was asked season 1.
You're a sellout, Manzo.
No, I'm no good. See, I'm like the rest of them. I was asked
At least
season
you
1.
waited.
I was asked season 1 to write a book. A lot of publishers emailed me, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, again, I got to earn my stripes. I got to have, you got to get your teeth. So I had the radio shows. I have an advice column that I've had for a couple years now.
Where are they?
The radio show, I did the 101.5, and then I did the thing on Sirius, and I'm in talks with a few different people to see if I want to move forward. It has to make sense in my life. My life is insane right now, so for me to do something, it has to make sense and it has to blend. I'm not going to listen, I'm 51 years old. I live a comfortable life. My husband takes very good care of me, all right? It has to make sense in my world. If it doesn't make sense, I don't care what it is, I'm not going to do it. So I have the thing on, I have those things I'm working on. I have the column on Glow on MSN page once a month. It's
called Glow.
The website is called Glow, but it's the MSN homepage.
Okay.
I've been doing that for I guess a little over 2 years. So people,
But you're still doing that. So people go to msn.com.
right. And
I'm not good at computer stuff. So it's
yes,
msn.com.
Glow.com, GLO.com, and then search my name. And it's
Manzo.
all, yep. And it's called Ask Caroline. And there's people that,
You have become like the de facto Dear Abby. When
which
I
is
see
kind of
you.
crazy.
But
you know?
you are the only person on the show that like gives good advice. Everyone else is like, you need to go to that house with a baseball bat and take out his mailbox girl.
this is
And you're
the
the only
theory.
one going, hey, families
You know.
first. Let's dial it back a little bit.
Because
What-
I've been there, done that.
How do you decide for the? I got to jump backwards only because for the non-housewife listeners, like this, you let a camera crew into your house,
Right.
You even said earlier, be careful what you wish for. And that's the thing. Like, hey, I'll have cameras in my house and I'll be on TV. I'll make some money and it'll be great. But I think that what people don't realize is, you wake up with the flu, a dog dies, there's a miscarriage, there's a death in the family, there's a fight between children and parents, or so. These are all hypotheticals that you would never want recorded. But there they are unloading their cameras, and they're already set up in your living room. They've taped extension cords to your linoleum floor in your kitchen. Do you have any say, like, I don't want this on camera? Or once you sign up, is it just, hey, too bad, sister, we got it. We got a contract?
The attitude is pretty much, too bad, sister, we have a contract, okay? But I have a voice, all right? And I choose to use it or not. And if I don't want something on, I'll sit there and do a jigsaw puzzle. You're not going to get it. You know what I mean? Because, a lot of people say, well, you put yourself out there in the public eye. You're right, I did. Okay, and I'm a novice at it. I never aspired growing up to be, I wanted to be a child psychologist. I wanted to be a lawyer. That's where I wanted to be all my life. And then, I wanted to be a wife and a mother, and that's what I believe I excel at, being somebody's wife and 3 kids'
What
mom.
do you say to Bravo producers if there's, I mean, you can't kick them out?
No, I could sit there and do nothing too, right?
But if the problem's happening as everything's there.
They need 2 sides of a story.
Right. But
So if
let's say
only one
Chris
side-
walks in
Right.
and he just got the snot kicked out of him by a bunch of people at the White Castle. He
Right.
comes walking in, you're like, I don't want this on camera. My
Right.
kid just got beat up. Mm-hmm. And they're like, this is great.
Right.
And then their eyes light up. Like, how do you keep that off camera?
They are not monsters, okay? They are sensitive to a lot of things. I believe
People at White Castle, or?
no, it's just that
Because,
they just, there's a lot of, like, for instance, when Albie was asked to leave law school,
Yeah.
we were set to film something else that day. Walks in the house, he's got the letter in his hand. Well, we got to cover this. And I said, we don't have to cover anything. It's up to my son what he wants to cover. It's his life,
Now, your son Albie, Al Jr., has a learning disability?
Yes.
Where
Yeah.
it's a reading,
It's reading comprehension.
processing,
You're right.
comprehension.
It takes him about 4 or 5 times to read something and absorb it.
It's very common, but
Right.
for law school, I guess it would be a bit of a problem because everything's on a timetable leading up to the bar exam. So
Right.
this particular school, they didn't want to bet on Albie
Which
making it on time.
They bet wrong, by the way, and I can't wait till I get to prove that to them. But
Will that be on the show?
yeah, I will make sure that gets on the show because he has a learning disability. He didn't get the services that he needed through the special services department, and on his own, he made the cut. He just missed it by 87 thousandths of a point. And
87 thousandths
of a point. He missed a GPA.
So he takes it again, he'll get in no problem.
Well, it's a long, ugly story, but to me, I said, Albie, this is.
JFK Jr. took it like 11 times.
Yeah, but this was law school, so it's not even it's not even the bar. This is law school, so he was asked to leave because he didn't make the GPA. But
He didn't make it the time they kicked him out of the school.
Right.
He didn't make it by an 87th.
he had to have a certain GPA to maintain
Right.
a spot
And
in
that's
school.
I thought you meant like to become a lawyer, like the
No,
bar. So
no.
that story, what wasn't covered in the story on the show was the finite amount that he actually missed it by.
Right. And with no help from special services. So
Just
he did
sitting there
that
in
on
his
his
room
own.
with a migraine,
Right,
rereading
and just
rereading.
like busting it out and saying, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this on my own. And, the tenacity and the courage that he showed. And now he's doing BLK with his brother and his uncle and his cousin. And you know what? The company is doing amazing. And one day I'd like him to go to that law school with a check and say, here, put yourself up a little building. Why don't you?
When you run down to the gift shop, get yourself a little shampoo or something.
There you go, for you.
So you do have a voice, and Bravo are not monsters, but there has to be a battle when Bravo sees like something terrible happen.
Right.
That's an opportunity for them
Of
to really
course.
capture raw emotion. We got it.
Right.
And as a mom and as a wife, you want these people out of your house.
Yeah, you're protective, of course. Listen, if it's
Is there ever a
something-
talk with people on site saying, I would appreciate it if you guys weren't recording this right now because my daughter's going through a hard time, or my husband has this, or I personally, I have strep throat. Or is it like, no, strep throat's great, we'll
listen,
write it in.
It hasn't worked for me. The things that I've put on are not that awful in my book. With Albie, then we had Lauren's weight struggles. And and we were in California. She had a breakdown. And they covered it, and it was difficult for me to watch that. As a mom, you don't want to see when your children hurt you hurt 1,000 times more, 1,000,000 times more.
How responsible do you feel for your kids hurting, having you being the matriarch that pulled them in?
In hindsight, I have no regrets, because I always say the best thing that this show has ever given me was for Albie, because Albie thought he was a failure. And he proved to himself that he wasn't a failure, because we got thousands and thousands of letters and emails from all over the world.
Great.
I'm just like you.
Yeah.
You inspired me to go to college. Keep it up. I'm a doctor now. I'm a politician now. I'm a judge now, whatever. And I said, see, Albie, they were just like you. You're not a failure, and they're not failures. So it showed Albie, you know what? I'm not alone. I'm not a failure. I could do this. With Lauren, it empowered her to say to young girls, you know what? Go for it. Live your life, be who you are, accept who you are, but better yourself. So there's always a lesson at the end of it. And listen, nothing good in life comes easy.
As it's happening, you might want to put your head in the
sucks.
sand, like, oh my God, my kids are getting destroyed on the internet.
And you know what? That's tough. Especially for Lauren. Lauren gets beat up really, really bad.
And she's not even on the show. She's like a peripheral player.
Right.
She's like a band member in Ricky's band, and I Love
Exactly.
Lucy. She's not even like,
Exactly.
she's not Fred Mertz. She's not Vivian Leigh. She's not Lucy. She's not even Baby Ricky. There's Baby Ricky sitting over there.
Yeah.
He wants a topless car wash. People destroyed this kid on the internet.
I know. You know what? And I was like, go to hell. The kid's 18 years old, 17 years old. He's thinking. His mind is going. I'll cut the damn ribbon on this car
about
wash.
boobs.
Yeah, I don't care. You know what? He wants to go to work.
Dave
he wants to do
Manheimer,
his thing.
complete my song, digs that idea. He would be first in line to rewash his Prius for the 40th time.
I'd rather have a kid that
Winter
thinks
hours.
like that, out of the box, which is the way Christopher thinks. His mind is, I don't know. I don't know where the hell this kid got this mind he has, but it's amazing. And I think it's great, and I'll support him in whatever they do.
You live firsthand how things get put through an internet filter. Right. Like, I live it. Like, I'll do a show, I'll host a show, and people go like, yeah, do drugs much? And I said it on Twitter, and I go, how, what?
A lot of courage behind the keyboard.
Yeah, like keyboard gangsters. And they're like, his hands are shaking, he's obviously, and I'm like, yeah, I was nervous. There were 8,000 people at the World of Warcraft convention, and I had to do all jokes about video games specifically. But that's the thing that makes us crazy, you and I, and everybody, I'm probably in this room. You do the show, you go on the internet to see how people thought you did at the show, specifically with a comic. I was just on stage.
Right.
I walk off stage going, man, wow, that was 8,000 people, Anaheim Convention Center, and then I immediately go upstairs on Twitter to see how I did.
And they take you down.
And they destroy you. So being on a reality show, it is the mentality of the couch potato, like, hey man, she put herself out there, she put her husband out there, the Brownstones out there, her kids are out there.
I can say whatever I want.
And people just go bananas. Like, this kid wants to open a topless car wash. Right. It's funny, and you're behind him. And I remember at the time reading Twitter feeds and stuff, you would have thought like he was opening a poppy field in Afghanistan.
Right, exactly. And I don't let it bother me, because I think a lot of that is people, listen, if you got the time to sit on your computer or your phone, whatever the case may be, and tweet me every 45 seconds about how fat I am, or how much of them a bully, or how dumb my kids are, or mama's boys and my daughter's fat, well, you're a fool. Go get a life, get a job, do something.
That's why Japan's whooping our ass, because they don't tweet at work.
Right. Just...
That's my platform when I run with Chris Christie in 16. Christy Mohr. I really am the missing ingredient to his platform.
You think?
I'll be like the gay rights and the poverty guy and feeding the homeless guy, and he can be the big GOP, swing for the fences guy.
So you're like a libertarian.
I'm a total libertarian,
Me
but
too.
I realized it in the last 2 years, because I was never a Democrat or Republican, because I wouldn't legitimize either party with my affiliation.
Right.
And again, you know what? To tie it back into what you do, reality television, when you're with people that will never see a single point of your point of view,
Right.
then that's the definition of insanity.
Right.
The Republican, I just talked about this today on Imus. The Republicans and the Democrats, this is what, how could there be a set of rules for blue?
It can't be.
And a set of rules for red. You know what that is? That's Dr. Seuss.
Right, totally.
That's the north-going Zocs and the south-going Zocs, or whatever they're called, and they won't move.
No.
And they build the city around them.
life gets in the way. You can't have a set, you know,
It's
it can't be textbook.
unbelievable.
Life gets in the way and people change and the world changes. And
And right now,